Welcome to the empire, the place when dreams come true. Together gotta put fire, we don't have time to lose. Empire, empire, empire legacy. Empire, empire, empire.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Empire Legacy, your favorite English broadcast. I am Destinee, your today's presenter. I am not alone. I am with my French broadcaster, Mina. Today is a very special day because we have a special guest from the U.S. Embassy. He is going to share his professional experience with us. His name is Mr. Eric. He's going to share his professional experience with us. And after the professional experience, we're going to have a small break. And after the break, we're going to have a sharing. We are going to learn a new word in English. And after our sharing, we're going to end with a very interesting topic about success. So without further ado, I'm going to give the floor to Mina. Mina, good afternoon. How are you feeling today?
I'm fine, thanks. Chers auditeurs, auditrices, bienvenue. Merci d'être à l'écoute de la GR Number One. C'est l'heure de votre émission Empire Legacy. Aujourd'hui, nous avons reçu un invité spécial. Il s'agit de Monsieur Eric Elliott, qui est chargé des relations publiques à l'ambassade des États-Unis. Il nous parlera de son expérience professionnelle dans notre première partie. Et nous allons marquer une pause pour la publicité, puis nous reviendrons pour une deuxième partie. Il s'agira d'un partage en anglais. Et à la troisième partie, nous allons avoir un topic, une question qui nous parlera de la réussite. Est-il un fruit, plutôt est-il la réussite est-il un destin ou un fruit de dur labeur? Je vous rappelle que Empire Legacy a un centre d'encadrement, des cours à domicile et aussi un club d'anglais via WhatsApp tous les mardis, jeudis, samedis de 20h30 à 22h pile. Pour mieux être informé, veuillez nous contacter sur le plus 242 06 463 23 99. Je répète, plus 242 06 463 23 99 sur notre page Facebook Empire Legacy Association et sur notre adresse email empirelegacy10@gmail. Allons, gardons l'écoute, nous continuons avec Destinee.
Thank you so much, Mina. Good morning. Good afternoon, Mr. Eric.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Very well, thank you.
Are you happy to be here today?
I'm happy to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. So, would you mind introducing yourself? Tell us who you are.
Yes, my name is, like introduced before, my name is Eric Elliott. I'm the Public Affairs Officer for the U.S. Embassy in Brazzaville.
Oh, thank you. For how many years have you been working as a public affairs officer?
That's kind of a complicated question. I've been here in Congo for, been here in Congo for for about a year. There we go. About a year. Before that, in the Foreign Service, we are first of all diplomats. So we are expected to do different things in different places. So before I was coming here, I was a political officer in Haiti. Before that, I was a public affairs officer again in Macedonia. And before that, I was a consular officer in Cameroon. So that was the State Department. I'll probably stay public affairs, I don't know for how much longer, but it depends on the job. But before I came to the State Department, I was a public affairs officer for the United States Air Force for 22 years.
Wow.
So
Nice,
that's
fantastic.
great.
So, how did you do to be where you are now?
a lot of it was just, I don't want to say luck, opportunities. If I would have told myself 40 years ago when I was when I was just finishing my high school degree, that I would be in Congo, that I would have lived in Cameroon, that I would have lived in Haiti, I would never have believed it, because it's just so incredible. It's just something that I would never have imagined. And so I guess a lot of the secret is you just follow opportunities, and you look for opportunities.
So, which kind of studies did you do? Which kind of studies?
In
Like your path, your study path.
oh, as far as studies, okay. I did a bachelor's degree in political science. First of all, I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be an Air Force pilot, but I don't see well enough. My eyes aren't good enough.
Oh.
And so I thought, okay, I'll be an engineer and I'll design airplanes. But I didn't have the aptitude to be an engineer. So I thought, okay, I couldn't be an engineer, can't be a pilot, so I guess I'll study political science.
Wow. Was it easy to make that choice because you had so many choices without being a pilot, an engineer? Was it easy to make the last choice political science?
It was easy in the sense that I had no choice to be a pilot because I couldn't see well enough. That was never an option. And after a couple of classes in advanced chemistry and math, I realized I don't want to do this. So in that way, it was easy. But finding out what I did want to do, the thing with studying political science is there is no career afterwards. It just prepares you to do other things. In the United States, I guess you could be in the political sector, but it just opens the door to graduate studies in law, or like I did in public administration.
Yeah. We all know, especially when we are focused, when you want to grow up in life, we can face many obstacles. It's not always easy to reach in a level as we want, let me say. So, Monsieur Rick, what are the different challenges that you faced during your path, and how did you do to overcome it?
I think the first challenge I faced was I did a master's degree in public administration, and I spent a year at a law school in France. So I had French and public administration. I graduated and I couldn't find a job in the government. There was a hiring freeze and nothing was available. So I had to go back to my hometown in New Mexico and work as a mechanic.
Wow.
So I was a very well-educated mechanic working on trucks. And it was a family business. It was a good experience, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. And so I had to find something that I wanted. And that's when I started looking at a career in the Air Force.
Wow. Yeah. It boosts our brains, brains of power to go forward, to be focused. Yeah. Thank you so much. So another question, are you satisfied of your achievement and proud of who you are today?
I think, I'm satisfied with the way that we've done it. I mean, what I've succeeded in doing is not really necessarily who I am today. I think there could be two different things. Success in a career is not necessarily who we are, who we become. I think we're greater than that. The fact that I've been able to do so many different things is really not a testament of whether I succeeded or not. In my mind, it's been a success because we've been happy, we've lived in a lot of places, we've had a wonderful family, and those are the real keys to success.
Wow, that's incredible. Mostly when someone is successful, people just see the success. They don't know what comes behind success. You told us that it was difficult for you when you graduated, when you had your master's degree, to find a job. Now, for that period of time, how did you do? How did you feel?
Well, I think something that I think is a disservice we tell young people is to follow their dreams. Just do what you want to do. No, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do to be able to survive.
Wow.
I was married, I had a child, I had to work, and I had to do things I didn't want to do. And I think that's something that all of us sometimes have to do. But the idea is just not to accept it and to look for opportunities to move forward.
Did you have many opportunities?
Well, I applied to a lot of jobs, but nothing really worked until I went and spoke to the Air Force recruiter, and he said, "Yes, we have something. We want you."
Now, what is the attitude to have when you've been applied for so many applications and it doesn't work? What is the attitude?
I think the attitude is persistence. The number one thing is not to take it personally. Sometimes we think, oh, nobody wants me, I'm a failure. But I've been on the other side hiring people, and it's never personal. It's just there are 5 people who apply, and there's only one job.
Wow.
And so, and that's something it was hard to learn because I did take it very personal. Nobody wants me, I'm a failure. But then realizing, no, that's not always the case.
That the difference was in your mindset, because you didn't see it as a failure, right?
Well, I did at the time. I thought it was a failure for a long time but looking back with age, I realized, no, it's just, it helped me build character.
That's interesting. So how did you do to overcome these thoughts you had of being a failure?
Well, I had to find something that I was able to do, a way to move forward. And when I first went into the Air Force as a young 28-year-old officer, I was older than most other new officers. But it was something that I liked, and for me, it was a beginning. It opened many doors later.
That's great.
That's great, really fantastic, impressive.
So thank you so much for the sharing. We're going to have a small break. We're going to have a small break for the advertisement, and after that we're going to come back. So Mina, you have the floor.
Merci d'être à l'écoute d'Empire Legacy. Vous restez toujours à l'écoute. Et nous allons marquer une pause pour la publicité, puis nous reviendrons pour la deuxième partie.
Hey mec, où pourrais-je apprendre l'anglais?
L'anglais? Pas de souci. Empire Legacy est là pour répondre à vos besoins.
Ah bon? Mais comment?
À travers des formations professionnelles à domicile, formations en ligne sur WhatsApp. En plus, ils ont un club d'anglais gratuit.
Waouh! Mais comment je fais pour les contacter?
Très simple, appelez-les ou écrivez-les au numéro plus 242 06 463 23 99. Empire Legacy, let's share together.
Chers auditeurs, auditrices, restez branchés sur la JR Number 1, votre émission Empire Legacy. Je vous rappelle que Empire Legacy a un centre d'encadrement, des cours à domicile et aussi un club d'anglais via WhatsApp tous les mardis, jeudis, samedis de 20h30 à 22h pile. Pour des personnes qui souhaitent être informées, veuillez nous contacter sur le plus 0 242 06 463 23 99 et sur notre page Facebook Empire Legacy Association et notre adresse email empirelegacy10@gmail. Nous gardons l'écoute pour la deuxième partie de notre émission avec Destinee.
Thank you so much, Mina, for this wonderful comment. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that Empire Legacy has an online English club every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 8:30 to 10. So if you want to have more information, for further information, just reach out to us through +242 06 463 2399. Let me come back again. +242 06 463 2399, or through our different social medias, Empire Legacy Association on Facebook, Empire Legacy Association 10@gmail.com. Thank you so much. So for the second part, we're gonna have a leadership voice. Yes, and we're gonna have someone that is going to share that with us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Destinee. Thank you very much. Now it's time for our leadership voice. And today we will talk about something that is very important in leadership, that is integrity. It's true that as a leader, you have to have a lot of skills. For example, you must be a good speaker. You must always be dressed very well. You have to know how to manage your team, your group, how to inspire. But that's not all. As a leader, you also have to have values and principles. And this is where we talk about integrity. Integrity in leadership is adhering to a strong set of ethical values and principles. A leader is someone who has to be honest, who has to be trustworthy. A leader is someone who has to be upright, true, because as a leader, you have followers and you have to lead by example. So the values and the principles you want to see in others, you are the first who have to show them. And when you have all those values and your principle, it also increases your credibility and your trust. So just don't stop at learning new skills, but also work in order to have strong values and principles. It will help you to have a stronger leadership and a better image all around you. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really, really helpful for us. And you said something very important. It is important to have integrity when we are leading. And Mr. Eric, if I'm not wrong, you said that you've been working for 20 years, right?
I've been working for almost 30. Next year will be 30 years.
Oh, great. What do you think of integrity?
Well, integrity is it's probably the most important characteristic of a leader, because it's through the leader's integrity that people want to follow. The leader is not always necessarily the smartest person, but he should be an example of values, like you said, of principles, and portraying those principles.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So it is time for our topic. The topic is about success. Is success related to a destiny, or is success related to hard work?
I think it's related to hard work. There will be destiny, you will have opportunities, but a lot of times we have to make our own opportunities. We have to find those opportunities. And to be able to take advantage of an opportunity, we have to work. And part of that is developing ourselves prior to the opportunity. For example, if I look at a job and there's a job I really want that requires a master's, but I never did my master's, that's because I didn't do the work necessary. So a lot of times we do work in preparation for opportunities that will come in the future.
Wow. That's incredible.
very
So we have to get ready for the opportunities that will come to us.
Yes. But they often they don't come to us. Sometimes we have to find them.
How to find them? How to find them? That's the question.
Well, that's the question. And it's different for different types of opportunities too.
So
Yeah, okay. Sometimes I wonder why the hard workers do not all succeed in life. Questions like that.
I mean, that's a good question. I've seen people who work hard every day that really don't advance. But a lot of times it hits a question of planning, intelligence, knowing exactly what we want with the life, having enough confidence in ourselves to be able to see ourselves doing something else. I think of older people that I've known that have worked in a job all their lives who said, I could never be anything other than a mechanic. That's all I'm made for. And my mind is, no, I can be a mechanic, but I can do other things too.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's really what you're saying is really wonderful, because as young people, sometimes when we don't have opportunity, we just stay like, as I don't have opportunity, so I'll just wait for the right moment. I'll just wait for the right moment without doing anything, without doing any training. So the question is really, when you don't find opportunities to get trained to receive the knowledge you want at a time, what to do? If you don't,
I think you're looking for different opportunities too. Sometimes we put our mind on a certain result and we only want to accept that result. But sometimes we have to find other things that will lead us to where we want to be. I think of an example of a young man that I knew in France when he was looking for a job, and he was offered a job at McDonald's, a fast food place, and he said, no, I could never do that, that's not my goal. I said, well, it'll lead to your goal. And he didn't do it, but had he done it, he would have been able to progress little by little. Like I said before, sometimes we have to do things we don't like to do. But doing those things helps us arrive and get success or reach success.
Does it have a link with getting out of your comfort zone?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I mean, if I could stay in my comfort zone, I'd be at home in my pajamas all day long. But if I did that, I couldn't afford to live.
Yeah.
Andy, do you want to say something?
Yes, I think that it's true that success is really the result of hard work. But there is something that we have to keep also, is that sometimes it takes a lot of time. Just the way we have listened to Mr. Henry's story, some other people just want to see the result now. They want to have the opportunities now. But it's just like the takeoff. When a plane wants to go, it takes time. It just don't leave the ground and just go in the air at the same moment. It really takes time. And you need to be patient. Not only to work hard, but you have to be patient, consistent, to continue working until you will see the result that you are expecting. This is what I can add about that.
When I was working as a mechanic, I did that for 2 years, and when I was doing it, 2 years seemed like forever. But then looking back, I realized that really wasn't that long. I could do a lot of things for 2 years.
But what if there are some people that really have a dream, they really want to succeed, but they don't find, as you said, the right opportunity. They don't have a path to where they want to go. The thing is, when they work in another field, they really feel like they are not called for that. They don't feel like they are interested. It's like they are giving too much, but they don't receive what they want. So at the time, what to do?
Well, I think something that I think is true for everything is to read the lives of people who you admire, who have succeeded before. And you realize in doing that the people who you think you've seen, or that you've seen succeed, they had the same path, they had the same problems. And reading how they overcame those problems can inspire us to do the same. Some of the people I like to read about Abraham Lincoln. I like to read about Lyndon B. Johnson, who started very poor and had hard lives, but then understanding how they succeed helped me see how I could succeed.
What you're saying is really important because you are talking about reading. And this is something that we as young people don't like the most. We don't like reading. So what advice can you give to a young people that really looks after success?
Read a biography, start with something easy. But I would challenge anyone listening here to come to the embassy. We have a library. We have books that we will lend out. Books about all kinds of people, whether it's Abraham Lincoln, whether it's Michelle Obama, where they tell about their lives, and we're happy to share those books. They're in English, but it's a good opportunity to learn English. And something that I learned about reading is that sometimes it's hard to start, but then once you start enjoying it, it's hard to stop.
Thank you so much.
I have another question. We are talking about success in general, but we have not mentioned a very important point. I think women. I know sometimes it's really difficult when you are a woman, especially in Africa. It's
I've
difficult.
never been a woman.
I know, but I'm really trying to put you in a woman's shoes. So I would like to know, sometimes it's really difficult for women to succeed because they say they are not in the good environment, they are just women. We have this kind of mindset of this kind of thoughts. So what can you say? What kind of small piece of advice can you give?
Like I said, I've never been a woman, but I do have 3 daughters.
Yes.
And I lived with the daughters and saw their struggles in life. And I think of my oldest daughter, who in her mind, as a woman, she had to either be a teacher, well, she should be a teacher, because that's what women did. And so she looked at music education, and she started studying music education and hated it. She didn't like it at all. Until she had a mentor, somebody who said, Kulani, you can do better than that. And she said, I can. And she started looking at other things. Like me, she wasn't very talented in science or math, but she worked in a program where she could be a project manager. Now, she's not a scientist, but she is the boss of scientists.
Yes.
She tells them what they can and can't spend. And a lot of it was just self-confidence. Somebody telling her, you can do that. And I think that's a problem that we have here is, and I've seen it many places in the world, where traditionally women are supposed to be nurses or teachers. And that's...
Or home cooking.
Or home cooking. Well, yeah. I mean, and that takes second place to being a mother and a wife and doing things at home. But that's not always the case, or that's not always the right answer for all women. And there are women who have done wonderful, great things that have changed the world. And these are women too who have had husbands and children. And so going back to reading, for young ladies, I would challenge them to go read a little bit about, well, Michelle Obama, Margaret Thatcher, Indira Gandhi, women who have changed the world.
What do you think, as a woman? What do you think, Andy?
I think that it's all things are possible first, but the truth is that for us in an African context, it's I can say that it's harder, because in our culture, women, just the way you say, women have to stay home to take care of the house and to raise the children. But today, we also have one advantage, is that even when we see the sustainable goals, they're talking about equalities. So today, women have to wake up and to rise, because doors are open. Things are not like it was yesterday. Today there are some special opportunities. Even if you see an offer, a funding, they also say that there are more opportunities for women. So today, being a woman is an advantage, because in some opportunities, if there is a man and a woman, they will prefer to choose the woman. So we have to take those opportunities now, and probably tomorrow will be like Michelle Obama, just like Mr. Eric says, someone great in Africa.
Then I feel lucky to be a woman. It's a blessing. So do you think that everyone from any background can succeed in life?
I think so. I mean, it's hard to say that for everyone, because there are people who have disabilities, who have problems that I can't understand, that we can't always understand. But I think most of the average people that I know, yes, a lot of that is education. We have to put in the work to be educated. Being educated is important. Yes. And I know a lot of people say, no, you don't need to go to school. No, But yes, we do need to go to school because a literate person who can speak well, who can read, who can write, who can think, is worth more to the society than somebody who can't. And in fact, that is success, is being worth something to the society.
Awesome. Now, do you think that school is the only way to succeed?
No. I mean, there are other ones, but education is still central to that.
Yes.
I mean, they still have to have the ability to read and write and think. But then there are many opportunities to do education through mentoring. I mean, I knew some wonderful mechanics who were happy being mechanics, and that is their definition of success. But they improved themselves. They learned how to work with new technologies. They knew how to fix new things, and they would progress with it. And for them, that was success because it was constantly changing. They were constantly improving.
Yeah. You remember me when you asked the question about school is the only way to succeed in life. I remember the day I went to the bank to take my bachelor. I'll say money we gain for school.
Oh,
Bachelor, I think.
Like a scholarship?
Scholarship, right?
Yeah.
Scholarship. And I met a driver say, if I went to school today, I could be like this. You know, it seems like if you did not go to school, you don't have a future, or you cannot succeed in life. So, what kind of advice can you give to people did not have opportunity to go forward to school?
Well, the reality is the society needs talented plumbers. We need talented drivers. We need talented taxi drivers.
Exactly.
We need people who can clean and maintain things. I think the challenge there is just constantly improving, getting better, learning things, whether it's through school, whether it's through books, whether it's through people. But I think that adds something to life, some challenge that is different than some people. They're not going to be presidents, they're not going to be political leaders or great people, famous people in society, but they are important to their neighborhoods, they're important to their families. And when you need a plumber, somebody who can fix your water and you have water over the kitchen, that is an important job.
Yes.
So I really like what you're saying, because sometimes when we are not, when you don't have I would say a job, as we say it, you are not you don't have a big position. If, for example, if you are working as a cleaner, you say, oh, I'm just a cleaner, I don't need to be perfect on that, I'm just a driver, I don't need to be perfect on that. But from what you're saying, it's that even when you were driver, even when you were cleaner, you have to train yourself, you have to be the better driver ever.
Yes. And what will happen a lot of times in employment situations, if we have a cleaner who is better than everyone else, who do we trust to lead? Who do we trust to manage? Who will progress within the society or within the company? Without education, it'll be the person who shows initiative and wants to do things better.
Wow. That's great. That's really incredible. When we were talking, you talked about something very interesting. You talked about disabilities. And this is, I would say, a challenging situation here in Congo. People with disability do not have a lot of opportunities. So in this situation, how can someone with a disability succeed?
That's a challenge. And I have to talk about what we did in the United States. The American Disability Act, ADA, was an act of Congress that was passed 50 years ago, I think, in August, which basically said every public space should be accessible to people with disabilities.
Very good.
And so if you go to if you come to the embassy, it has to be accessible to people in wheelchairs. It has to be accessible to people who can't see or can't hear. That's part of what the state can do, is to help people remove some of the faults or the obstacles from their lives. But again, I mean, we've seen people with disabilities do great things as well. Stephen Hawking in his wheelchair. And it goes back to education and motivation.
Yeah. By the way, when I was in Nairobi, I was doing a leadership course. I met someone with a disability, if I can say so, and I did not expect that, because living in Congo, I did not have like that viewpoint of people with disability, because we are not usually in touch with them. We don't know what they feel. But when I went to Nairobi, I met that person, and I discovered that it's not all about the disability. It's about who the person is, what the person got. And that is what really make me feel like we have to take everyone into consideration. It's not because someone has a disability that he can't do anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people with disabilities can do things that we can't.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
First confidence is also important, as you say. You also remind me when I studied so I work as a accountant in Chinese society. Yeah, when the hand told me, Mina, I want to give you the post in accountant. Especially, I spent many years without working or without having a training period in the domain. I feel free, like I was that able as I can be to work in the post. But once I started, I realized it was not difficult. Just my fear could stop me. Let me in a stage that you refuse that job. It's really right what you say, Destinee.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Eric, what would be your last word for a young one, or even not a young, someone that is listening to the podcast? What would be your last word or your advice?
I think is to be persistent. Do not quit. Keep moving forward. Don't expect to get everything you want immediately. Like you said, it takes patience.
Yeah.
It takes perseverance. But 2 years now doesn't seem like much time. And look for opportunities, even though they may be different, things you don't want to do. If it's opportunities for schooling that may not be what you want, who knows? It may be what you decide you want later. And any opportunities to learn will help you move forward.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eric, for being with us today. It was an incredible podcast with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our today's podcast. It was a pleasure to have you till the end of the show. So we would like to remind you that Imperial Legacy has an online English club every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 8 to 10. Don't forget, if you want to reach out to us, you just have to join us through our different social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, through Imperial Legacy Association, and through our WhatsApp number at 224206463239. Let me come back again, plus 24206463239. Thank you so much for your presence.
Je vous rappelle qu'Empire Legacy a un centre d'encadrement des cours à domicile et aussi un club d'anglais via WhatsApp tous les mardis, jeudis, samedis de 20h30 à 22h pile. Et nous avons aussi un club des femmes qui se trouve à l'ambassade des États-Unis. Pour toutes celles qui souhaitent pratiquer et améliorer la langue anglaise, c'est tous les mercredis de 14h30 à 16h30. Si vous souhaitez nous contacter, c'est toujours sur le plus 242 06 463 23 99. Je répète encore, plus 242 06 463 23 99. Nous avons aujourd'hui reçu M. Elliott, qui est chargé des relations publiques à l'ambassade des États-Unis, et nous a parlé de son expérience professionnelle. Je sais que nous avons beaucoup appris de lui, comment pouvoir surmonter toutes les difficultés de la vie que nous faisons face dans tous les domaines. Merci beaucoup. Aujourd'hui, c'est par là que nous allons boucler notre émission. Merci à toutes les personnes qui nous ont suivis. Restez à l'écoute et connectés sur la JR Number One tous les samedis de 13h20 à 14h pile sur la JR Number One. Merci à l'équipe technique. Merci au soutien de l'ambassade des États-Unis. On se dit à très bientôt.
Welcome to the Empire, the place where dreams come true. Together gotta put fire